A wise bot once said, "There are mysteries to the universe we were never meant to solve. It's math related to science. If the universe is so big, why won't it fight me? And is this guy and this other guy the same person?" Short answer? Actually no, surprisingly enough. Yeah, I know that sounds like a crazy statement considering that all the marketing calls him Wheeljacks, but actually, Pablo, which is the name I'm gonna be giving him because he's a goddamn nerd, and Wheeljack, the actual Chad, are two separate characters in the same universe. Is that confusing? Yes, it is. So this is a video I wanted to do for a long time since a lot of people don't seem to know this information, and at the same time, Pablo has been a very, controversial character since he was first revealed through that toy leak a long time ago. Now, while I personally do like the Pablo body, I think his body looks pretty good. My only problem is that face. Because going from one movie to another and having this drastic of a design change is honestly not appealing to me. I'll be honest, if it wasn't for that nerd head, I think this would be a top tier Wheeljack design. Because it will keep, the basis of the G1 head, making him recognizable, while at the same time keeping the body. Because look, the only way you can truly recognize Transformers characters is through their heads. The heads is a valuable component of a character. Without it, it's very hard to tell who they actually are in between movies as they switch vehicles and so on. Imagine if Optimus Prime went from having this head to, let's say, something a bit more radical like this. Just picture the Optimus Prime head but blue. Yeah, it's still a bit like Prime, but it's still super different, It doesn't fit. And the same thing applies to Wheeljack here. To be honest, what I really don't like about his design is just how over the head it goes with it. Look, things like the suspenders, that's cool. Okay, that's something I like, okay? The, sort of nerdy look he has going on with the makeshift shorts and some of the, fancy shoes. I like that. That's good. But then the head just goes over the top. It's like, hey, this guy's a nerd. Hey, this guy's a nerd. Don't you get it? He's a nerd. That's honestly what I really don't like about this design. Also, there's also the fact that the Pablo stands are probably some of the most angry, argumentative fans I have ever had the displeasure of knowing the Transformers fandom. I just wanted to throw that in there. But anyways, let's stay on topic. So, this Pablo and this Wheeljack are actually two separate characters. Shocker, I know, right? Apparently, ROTB's Wheeljack was conceived to be a different character from Q/Wheeljacks from Dark of the Moon. Rather than take the more generic Generation 1 inspired design of the Wheeljacks in Bumblebee, either Hasbro or Paramount wanted to lean more into the idea of the character being a nerdy scientist, as they felt that the tough guy seen in the previous movies was too similar to other characters among the Autobots. I'm not sure about that because Bumblebee's kind of the kid of the group, Optimus Prime is the badass, RC's the girl, Mirage is comedic relief. So I don't exactly see the reason for that. Yeah, it makes him a bit more distinct, I guess, but in that case, just make him fix it. It fits him better. No pun intended. In an interview between the Alfonso Nation and Steven Caple Jr, the director of the film, the director pretty much confirmed the whole Pablo thing that he knows about it. I think even the voice actor knows about it, which I think is hilarious. And what he basically mentioned is that the whole, Wheeljack and Pablo thing is like a Grimlock scenario from Robots in Disguise 2015. Now, in case you guys don't know, the Align continuity is a whole mess when it comes to timeline continuity and stuff like that. I still like it, I like it a lot, but the continuity can be a bit messy at times. But in that continuity, there's actually two Grimlock. There's the Grimlock from the Cybertron games, the one that got experimented by Shockwave, became a Dinobot, and basically led the Autobot resistance back on Cybertron, while Optimus Prime and his Autobots were fighting the Decepticons on Earth. While in 2015 we got another version of Grimlock, which transformed into a dinosaur as well, was a whole lot goofier and was mostly played off for comedic relief, and was even a Decepticon at one point, a vast departure from how he was portrayed in Follow Cybertron. And eventually the creators came forward and said that this Grimlock and that Grimlock are two separate characters. Maybe Grimlock's a common name for, Dinobots. That's something that they mentioned. Think of it like how on Earth, you have someone named Michael, and then there's multiple different Michaels. You're not the only Michael in the world, and Wheeljack apparently is not the only Wheeljack on Cybertron. Which, in some ways, that's fine, I find enough explanation, but in other ways, I feel like that opens the door to find other characters named the same way. Well, I mean, they kind of did acknowledge that in a way too in the movie, when Optimus Primal basically said, "I was named after you," the legendary warrior from Cybertron, when he talked to Optimus. So, in a way, there's already a precedent for that in the universe, so if they do bring in, Wheeljack from Cybertron, the one with the ear fins, to meet with this Pablo on Earth, they could have a little bit of a funny interaction like that. It's just an idea. But to be honest, the reason why this is the case is cause I think Steven and Paramount and Hasbro were, I mean, they know about the fans calling this guy Pablo, and they know about the whole controversy. The day that Wheeljack's design got revealed, there was a whole on Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I should say X, as it's currently called. Well, that's gonna date this video. In fact, this got so bad that in order to just shut the fans up, Hasbro and Paramount did some trickery behind the scenes, and in trailer number 2, they had a shot where Wheeljack clearly appears and they gave him the G1 earfans. And the earfans also appear in the movie, only for them to quickly, and I mean very quickly, go away and never be seen again. And that's actually one of the reasons why I don't like this Pablo so much, cause like look, it's one thing if you're gonna double down on Pablo and use this design for Wheeljack, which I get, but then they, had to trick us. For the people who didn't like this Pablo, they, got our hopes up and then crushed them. It's like, if I asked out a girl and she says no, it's fine, whatever, it happens. But if I asked out a girl, she says yes, and later last minute says, actually I don't want to go out with you anymore, then that stings. That kind of hurts, okay? And that's kind of how I feel about Pablo. That's the reason why me and so many other people don't like him, because it feels very malicious what they did. And one thing if we don't like the design, that's fine, whatever, not everyone likes movie Ironhide, while I really do like him. There's even some people out there who like Age of Extinction Bumblebee for some reason, but the fact that they went out their way to maliciously trick us, that's what I have a huge issue with, and that's why this character has always been stained with a bad memory to me. And Steven, if you're watching this video, please don't do something like that again for the sequel, I beg of you. But yeah, Cybertron Wheeljack and Earth Wheeljack are two different characters. It kind of makes no sense since the Bumblebee movie ending kind of implied that all the Autobots that we saw at the beginning of the Cybertron battle, made it to Earth by the end. Oh, and don't worry, I'll make an update video on like the Autobots that were behind the comets. I think that'll probably be my next video, hopefully. But honestly, I think that the whole reason why, these two characters are now two separate characters is because originally they really did intend it for Wheeljack here to transform into Pablo, but when the fans like threw such a massive backlash for it, they went back, they were like, oh actually no, that's not Wheeljack, that's actually Pablo, and there's multiple Wheeljacks out there that share the same name. It's like, I feel very conflicted about it. In a way, yeah, fine, at least the real Wheeljack's still out there, which I actually do like. But then we have this other guy named Wheeljack, and kind of muddies the waters. I'm not a fan of that. The way I will fix this will be that Wheeljack shows up for the sequel and they have a small joke where like, hey, I want my name back. And like Wheeljack says, oh, okay, yeah, you can be the Wheeljack of the group. I'm going back to being fixed or whatever. Like, it's not a perfect writing solution, but it's just something you could say. Maybe you can establish the precedent that Transformers just like to change their names every now and then. In fact, this is something that happens quite a bit. Hot Rod turns into Rodimus Prime, Bumblebee turns into Goldbug in some continuities, Orion Pax becomes Optimus Prime, and so on. This is something that has happened before, and the name changing is nothing really new to Transformers. I just kind of hope that when they do tackle this, if they choose to tackle it, because I mean, I feel like that might be something that they wouldn't even want to bother with. Maybe we'll never see this Wheeljack again, and we'll be stuck with Pablo here forever, since they probably wouldn't want to waste time acknowledging that fun fact about Transformers lore. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But now I have to pass on the question up to you guys. How do you guys feel about Pablo here? Are you guys happy that him and Wheeljack are two separate characters? Do you wish that the Wheeljack name just stay consistent to one character? And are you okay with the whole, oh, there's multiple people out there named Wheeljack, just as how there's multiple humans out there named Michael thing? Personally, well, I think it's something natural that kind of does make sense at the same time. It kind of, complicates things a bit, makes them a bit messy. It all depends on how they go forward about handling this. If the real Wheeljack shows up and they had that small fun interaction, I'm like, yeah, fine, okay, that can work. But at the same time, I feel like they might not bother with that, and this might be a Wheeljack forever and ever until he dies or something. But anyways, now it's my time to pass on the question up to you guys. How do you guys feel about Pablo and Wheeljack being two separate characters? Do you wish they were just one character? How do you think they're gonna handle this? And do you think that this means that we're not gonna see Wheeljack appear in the movies again? Because I feel like they might not even want to bother explaining why there's two Wheeljacks out there, just as like, there's many Michaels all around the world, so they might not want to, take the time and explain that. Because I know that sounds like a very small, minute reason, but then again, the reason why RC didn't get added in 2007 was because the writers were lazy enough not to want to add an explanation as to why she was female. So who really knows at this point? Personally, I have much less problem with this Wheeljack right here. He was named Fix-It, because I mean, yeah, Fix-It has always been kind of a nerd, and to be honest, we never seen Fix It in the live action movie series, so him just being this random, tall Autobot that looks different for the movies, it's fine, Just like how characters like Battletrap were kind of nobodies before the movies, and now the movies switched them up and gave them new life, that's completely fine, whatever, Taking obscure characters and switching them up to make them cooler for the movies, I'm fine with that. But for classic characters, I'm a bit more reluctant with, especially with those who already have a precedent of appearing in the movies, like Wheeljacks did in the Bumblebee movie. But hey, that's just how I feel. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to all the annoying YouTuber stuff that the algorithm likes so much. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys. Anyways, guys, before we go, shout out to our super incredible patrons: Predaking Hunter Plays, Scrub Lordo, Omega Trion 2006, Stage Productions, Xavier the God, Ender Skiers, Optination Reviews, James Newbold, DJ Universe, Tristan Curry, Stellar, Allspark Studio, Super Sailor Formers Hedgehog, Cuber 9 Gaming, Rich Cracker 64 Studios Productions, Crazy T-Rex, King Sparta, Legend of Soup, the Autobot Side of J, The Transformer, Kemar Knight, Crawley 666, Itsuki, and TF Cypher. And shout out to our incredible big bold Patreons, Jordan the Great and X-North23, who donated a amount of money. I still won't tell how much it was. But anyways, if you join my Patreon, you get a few rewards. You can watch some of my videos early. You can request a collab with me, some of my videos or your videos, depending on your choosing. You can request some videos from me, get early looks at some videos that I'm doing, and even some that I haven't published quite yet. The list goes on. But keep in mind that it's entirely optional, because freedom's the right of all sentient beings. Thank you to my patrons for donating, it's much appreciated. Be sure to go and check out their channels. They could use all the help they can get. Some of them do Transformers content like I do, and some of them do whatever other funny thing they can come up with. We have quite a diverse selection here. But yeah, as always, guys, thank you so much for your support. It's much appreciated, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay safe, guys.